righty, yee howdy. Howdy, howdy, and all that other sort of jazz. Welcome to episode number 1 of album Autopsy. Greatest parody songs ever recorded and written, which are, of course, recorded and written by the Mike Church Show Band, yours truly, and Jim Mosier here, who is going to be my co-host for this series. And what we're going to do is go through 50 some odd tracks that we composed. I say we composed. I did all the writing of the lyrics and all that, and Jim did all the... And before we get started here, if you're watching the show and you want to leave comments and you want to pay a good Southerner and say, oh, bless his heart, because he mispronounces something, don't call him James. If you call him James, he will hunt you down, he will find you, and it's not going to end very well for you. So I just want to give everyone the heads up. He is Jim, just Jim. So
with 2 M's.
With 2 M's, that's right. Get it right. It's 2 M's. So Jim, we are here on episode 1. This is actually episode 3 because we did an episode of album Autopsy.
Right.
In Tampa.
Yep. That was a great show. That was a great conference.
Because we talked about Staying Alive and the world's first ever drum loop.
Yep.
And that was we kind of plumbed the depths, if you will, of that first, just kind of the subject matter there. So the way this will work, or the way that I think that we'll present this show, is we'll give you the song that we parodied. In many instances, there are multiple versions of the Mike Church Show Band version of that song. We'll kind of walk through the progressions of what we were doing and why we did it, and then we'll go through the actual song. Like in this instance, tonight we're going to talk about a song that is still like in the Rolling Stone Top 100 of all time, the cover of the Rolling Stone. I know you know the song, but when I mentioned it to you the other day, you were like, who wrote that song? And I said, Shel Silverstein. You went, oh yeah, James and the Giant Peach. And I went, no, that's Roald Dahl. Shel Silverstein, and I actually have a Shel Silverstein clip where he describes, or he introduces Dr. Hook and the medicine show. It should be just a really fun little kind of half hour or so of hanging out and talking about this song. Jim, when's the last time you heard Cover of the Rolling Stone?
2 hours ago, to refresh my memory.
And what did you pick up on anything that we want to introduce to the audience? Because I heard a couple of things and I went, well, I don't know how they did that.
Well, I mean, obviously, I was listening to that song, and obviously they did some overdubs. It does sound like that they were all high and they're having a party and cut the basic tracks going on. And then they went in and overdubbed, hand claps, background vocals, and so forth. That's what I noticed immediately.
So I didn't pick up on the hand claps because they kind of just blend right in.
Right.
And this is a hallmark of early 70s, mid 70s recording studio art. You booked your time. You had somebody, a musical genius like you, sitting there as an engineer and producer, and you had a certain amount of time, and you went in there and just started playing the songs, right? You didn't go through this whole process of what they do today. I mean, did they all go through the process of doing these things called click tracks and all that?
No, there was no click tracks back then. I mean, if you did have a click track, sometimes they would use one, but it was literally an actual metronome, and you'd set up a mic in front of it and you'd run the tape for 3 or 4 minutes, and get that. But that wasn't the norm. All those records that have such a great groove, it was just great musicians setting up and the drummer going 1, 2, 3, 4, and off they went. But to kind of go back to what you said earlier, depending on how famous the band was,
right,
depended on how much time in the studio you spent. What year was that song?
1974.
1974. Wow, I guessed it right. So I was 9 years old then. long time ago. They they were on the radio, but they weren't getting the time in the studio like Led Zeppelin or Paul McCartney and Wings and etc. Where those bands would go in and use the studio, and it's like, okay, we're blocking this out for 6 months because we're creating a masterpiece. These were the other guys, writing quick, top 40 AM radio songs at the time. So I could probably guess that they cut that song in a day. It probably took a whole day between setup, mics on the drums, which is an hour and a half, and getting everyone's mic'd and separated with. Do you know what gobos are?
What a gobo?
Yeah.
No, what's a gobo? It sounds like a car.
Yeah. So a gobo is basically a square. I don't know, 5 feet tall by 4 feet wide. It's got fiberglass insulation on it, and it has a piece of plexiglass. And they would put those between the musicians to try to get some type of isolation when they were cutting live. So you start factoring in all that stuff. They probably spent 4 to 5 hours getting everything set up, everyone getting a headphone mix, and then they cut the initial track.
So this track was, according to the little bit of research that I did on it, this track was in 1974. The band at that time consisted of 3 Southern dudes, or the band was founded by 3 Southern dudes: George Cummings, Ray Sawyer, who was from Alabama, and Billy Francis, who had worked together. Now, check this out. Their first band was called Chocolate Papers.
Wow, so many visuals come to mind.
Chocolate Papers. Yeah, I had some visuals too. Chocolate Papers. They played in the South, up and down the East Coast, and into the Midwest before they broke up. And then George Cummings, who moved to New Jersey with the plan of forming a new band, brought Sawyer back to rejoin him. Then they took on future primary vocalist, New Jersey native dude named Dennis Locorriere, at first as a bass player. Francis, who had returned south after the Chocolate Papers broke up, returned. It sounds like a weed, like a cannabis THC shop. Doesn't it sound like something you buy that the kids would buy at a weed shop today? Yeah, man, give me like a pack of chocolate papers.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so this is how they got the name. When told by a club owner that they needed a name to put on the poster in the window of his establishment for their gig, Cummings made a sign, Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, Tonic for the Soul.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, if you watch the video, Ray Sawyer is the lead vocalist here. Dude lost his eye in a car accident in the 60s. And so he was kind of famous for being on stage as, "Arr, mateys, he was the pirate of the lad." and he wore an eye patch. And so you kind of take Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, you take the Dr. Hook part, and then people start thinking of Peter Pan. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Hook is like synonymous with the pirate, even though Dr. Hook in the Peter Pan movie in the book has his leg and has his eye, doesn't wear an eye patch. The whole thing kind of sticks, and they come up with Dr. Hook and the Medicine and the Medicine Show, Tonic for the Soul. That's the subtitle, and off they go into the studio to start cutting records. So they had 8 top 10 hits over there. They had chart hits over 8 years. This was their third one, and the story of the song is that they were hanging around and they were reading Shel Silverstein's poem, Cover the Rolling Stone. He goes, "Man, you guys ought to record this, make a song into it." And they're going like, "Dude, we're never getting on the cover of the Rolling Stone." And Shel Silverstein goes, "Yeah, that's it, blank face. And that's why you ought to record it. It's hysterical. You guys just making fun of yourselves." And so they set out and they recorded the song. And
I was just going to say, that's definitely a conversation that you have when you're passing a joint around amongst band members. Dude!
Well, the funny thing is that that's exactly what they did, and they actually now I can't find anyone that will admit to it, but we're going to play the track now. This is interesting. When do you think lip syncing was invented?
Lip syncing invented? You mean performing live on a television show?
Yep.
Oh gosh, it had to have been done in the 60s, sometime late 60s, maybe.
Okay, so I don't know. It wasn't a trick question. I genuinely don't.
Oh. Well, you're breaking up on there. So if I think back, a lot of those early shows, I don't know, could have been even maybe the late 50s.
I watched the Beach Boys on Ed Sullivan do "I Get Around," and that wasn't lip sync.
Right.
They did it. They actually.
Right. No, they played on Ed Sullivan.
So the reason I bring it up is let's watch the video. Here is Dr. Hook.
Don't touch me. Hey, Ray. Hey, Sugar. Tell them who we are. Well, we're big rock singers. We got golden fingers, and we're loved everywhere we go. That sounds like us. We sing about beauty, and we sing about truth at $10,000 a show. Right. We take all kind of pills to give us all kind of thrills, but the thrill we've never known is the thrill that'll get you when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone. Wanna see my picture on the cover? Stone. Wanna buy 5 copies for my mother? Stone. Wanna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone? That's a very, very good idea.
I got a freaky old lady named a Cocaine Kitty who embroideries on my jeans. I got my poor old gray-haired daddy driving my limousine.
Now it's all designed to blow our minds, but our minds won't really be blown like the blow that'll get you when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone. Wanna see our pictures on the cover? Stone. Wanna buy 5 copies for our mother? Stone. Wanna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone? I know how. Rock and roll! Oh, that's beautiful. We got a lot of little teenage blue-eyed groupies who do anything we say. We got a genuine Indian guru. He's teaching us a better way. We got all the friends that money can buy, so we never have to be alone. And we keep getting richer, but we can't get our picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone. Wanna see my picture on the cover? Stone. Wanna buy 5 copies for my mother? Stone. Wanna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone? On the cover of the Rolling Stone. Wanna see my picture on the cover? Wanna buy 5 copies for my mother?
You kind of get the picture of the cover of the Rolling Stones. So there's the song there. Now you could clearly see, and if you're watching this, you could clearly see that they are lip syncing that. I thought that they were they're absolutely lip syncing.
They're lip syncing. That's a studio recording. In fact, you know, especially if you're listening with headphones on, because everybody has expensive studio monitors, you can hear the dryness of those background vocals, and they actually have depth. If they were all doing that live in the same room, there would be bleed with other instruments and just wouldn't have that separated sound. Side note, that microphone he's singing, I actually have 4 of those. They're worth a lot of money nowadays. They were the version before the SM58 that every band uses now, every singer that you see on television.
So what is the mic? What is it? Is that a Shure mic?
It's an AKG D something. D220, I forget, but it has that weird looking space age material that looks like foam rubber, but it's actually metal.
So that's the original song, and obviously almost everyone knows it on the cover of the Rolling Stone. So not breaking any news here. So let's talk about Mike Churchill Band. Now, in 1999, I am working at 770 WVNN in Huntsville, Alabama, the Rush Limbaugh station. Same station that Sean Hannity had worked at 3 years prior to he'd gotten his start there. And I was doing the afternoon drive show. And one of the topics I did was, and this is before I got kind of Southern conservative religion, a party was formed, and they called it the Southern Party, political party, and they were going to take the South back, and they were going to win elections. They're basically the new Dixiecrats. And I did a whole hour, and I made fun of them. And I was talking about the, they're going to have the Mennonite woman with, and a guy yelled over there, "I can see her ankles." I totally just spoofed on this party for an hour. It started a huge controversy. A guy heard it who lived in Birmingham, and then wrote a letter to the editor of the Birmingham newspaper, calling me out, and the Athens, I think it was actually the Decatur newspaper in the Huntsville, Athens area, and the national press picked up on it, and there were people that were calling the radio station, and they were after me, dude. They wanted me. My boss at the time, Bill Donovan, was like, he goes, "Let's go listen to the record, Mike. I just want to make sure you're making compelling radio on my radio station." So he would listen to the tape. He listened to the tape, and he goes, "You got nothing to worry about." He even laughed, and he goes, "I think actually it's funny." It's in this environment, okay, where I started to think, well, maybe not all these conservatives may not actually be my, like conservative friend. They're not acting all friendly and stuff. Maybe we're not all one big giant tent. Maybe Reagan's the 11th commandment, "Thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican," doesn't hold true. So I started thinking about, I think I want to lampoon these guys. And I hadn't done any songs. The only songs I had ever done were like 4 songs I did in 1993 for a Christmas album that, thank the Lord, has bit the dust and nobody can find. So I started thinking about, okay, well, what song could you do? And that song came on the radio. And as I'm listening to it, I'm going, "If you see a right winger get stoned," and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, right wingers getting stoned. And I'm thinking of Rush Limbaugh and Pat Buchanan, because there's a line in my song about it, "and a dude who's never worn jeans." So I'm thinking like, okay, how can I, for the maximum comedic effect, write a song that is funny and even right wingers will listen to, but kind of drives the point home that you guys got some things to be made fun of too.
Right. You've never told me that story. I only know from the WBT point on.
Well, okay, so let's talk about, all right. So next part is how is Mike Church, who is not a musician, how am I going to make that song? Now, this is before you could go on the internet and probably find a karaoke track. And then you could take the karaoke track, right, and sing to it. You probably wouldn't be able to get the background vocals out. You'd be stuck with them. But
it would take you eight years downloaded at 54K speed.
54K, 14.4, baby. I didn't got and it was 56K.
56K has blazing speeds.
So at this time, I got my MacBook Pro, and I have been experimenting for years and I had made some other songs. They just weren't very good, so I didn't play them publicly, but I was working on them. And I was working with these things, and you know this better than I do. I was working with these things called MIDI files, MIDI. And at the time, before you had all of the ability, the modern ability to digitize all this music and everything, MIDI tracks were very popular.
That was it.
Well, and tell people, I mean, you had a studio equipment that was driven. You used MIDI. You still do use MIDI.
Oh yeah, MIDI is still used this day, and MIDI stands for musical interface, or oh my god, I can't believe I forgot this. Musical instrument digital interface.
I was going to say when the radio producer gets stoned.
Which basically is an on or off command. That's all it is. Any one of these keyboards that I hit in this room that are digital and even analog, it's just an on, off. So MIDI data was very small, and you could email it to somebody, and if you had a keyboard or module that was MIDI, it would reproduce the song with the sounds, like the old player pianos that had the holes in the paper.
Yep. So I found there was a website that I was a paying member of. It was called Harmony, And I found there's a bunch of people would make MIDI tracks, and the thing about making a MIDI track is it also records how hard you hit the key. And velocity, all sorts of things. So I found what I thought was the best MIDI track of a cover of the Rolling Stone, and then of course I wrote my lyrics and I refined the lyrics, and then started practicing, trying to nail Sawyer's voice or to get as close to Sawyer's voice as I could.
Right.
Well, I knew the song when I was a kid. It's one of the songs that I grew up singing. Just like when we get to smoking in the smoking SUV fumes. I knew that song like the back of my hand when I was 10 years old. Smoking in the boys in the Brownsville station. So I knew, so I knew the song. So I had an RE20 mic. I had a 4-track analog recorder. I had a Tascam mixing board, and this is before USB interfaces. So there was nothing digital. Everything was analog in, analog out.
Right.
And I had fashioned a kind of little miniature recording studio there. And so then I set to work. The hardest part was, and I to tell you the truth, I don't remember how I did it, was trying to, because that's a 3-part harmony that they got go in there, and you can explain that when we get to it. And I don't remember how I attempted to do it, but as we do here on the album Autopsy here, this is the first version. So this is my mid. I don't even know him. I don't even know who Jim Mosier is. This is 1999 in Huntsville, Alabama, and this is exactly what it sounded like on the radio that day.
Oh no, man! I can't believe it. Do it. Pass it over here. Hey, babe. Hey, Patrick. Tell them who we are. Well, we're big right wingers and we're gun right singers, and we think young ladies should wait. That's like us. We talk about values and we talk about truth at $10,000 a plate, right? We sign all kind of bills to veto all kind of thrills, but the thrill we'll never know is the thrill that is fitting from the votes we'd be getting if they thought that right-wingers got stoned. We get stoned. Gonna see my mistress on the cover. Stoned. Gonna love those young unwed mothers. Stoned. Gonna see my smiling face when they see a right-winger get stoned. That is a very liberal idea. How the right-winger like you come up with it? We got an old chick named Liddy and some guys who are biddies and a dude who's never won jeans. We got a poor old ex-press daddy stomping in Abilene. Now let's all decide to blow their minds with the stuff we never have blown. Not that kind of blow. It's the blow that'll get your aim on picture, and they'll think this right-winger gets stoned. We get stoned. Gonna see our mistresses uncovered. What she look like? Gonna love our young unwed mothers. Gonna see my smiling face when they see us right-wingers get stoned. I know how. Right-wing blow. Oh man, but you gotta watch what you say though. Let's see, you put this in here and you roll that up. Hey, how good is this? We got a lot of little wrinkled, blue-haired ladies who believe in the thing we say. We got some genuine Wall Street gurus teaching us the same old same. We got all the guns that money can buy, so we never have to shoot alone. Bang. While the rich are getting richer, Rolling Stone won't take a picture till they see a right-winger get stoned. We get stoned. Gonna see my mistresses uncovered. Gonna love 5 young unwed mothers. Gonna see my smiling face when they see this right-winger get stoned. When they see a right-winger get stoned. Gonna see a mistress on the cover. Gonna love 5 young unwed mothers. Gonna see my smiling face, and you'll know this right-winger.
Okay, so you kind of get the idea of that's 1999. It's all made in a cubicle, no larger than this.
It's actually for the limitations, and it sounds quite good.
Well, Alan Grossman didn't think it sounded quite good.
Well, we can take it to the next level.
Okay, so I play this song, and people are blown away. They're like, man, that's as good as anything Limbaugh has in the parody department, right? And, Limbaugh had the great Paul Silhan, who was doing all those great cover songs,
Right.
60s and 70s covers. So I moved to, I leave WVNN.
But there is a difference between what we did and what Rush Limbaugh had done.
Oh, absolutely. No, completely and totally, because I don't know how many of those songs El Rushbo ever actually wrote.
Yeah. Well, not only that, the level of authenticity that we would try to recreate tracks exactly. So when people heard the song, they would be fooled before the lyrics came in.
Well, you may have noticed, if you were to stack my version of Right Wingers Get Stoned on top of Cover the Rolling Stone, I wrote the lines as Sawyer and Cummings and the other guys in Dr. Hook, the medicine show, are kind of in the background going like, yeah, man, how did you come up with that? I wrote all the lines. There's like a sheet of lyrics that's sub-lyrics. Right. And then I wrote down what they said, and then I replaced it with my lyrics. So they appear in the exact same places, right? So this is, right. So I did have a level of attention to detail there. And I was bitten by the bug at that point. I'm like, man, I love doing it. It was fun, and then the end result is that people loved the song, and I should play it tomorrow morning on the show.
Right.
They still love it. So, and I don't know if you caught. I think that there was some hand clapping on that MIDI track. Was that
Yeah,
I heard a piano.
Yeah, there's a piano. Yeah, I don't know if there was really. There might have been some type of percussive instrument doing that. Got.
Okay, so let's fast forward to December of 1999. So about 5 months later, I'm working at the big dog now. 1110.
Al Gardner.
Yeah. No, 1110. Hi, I'm Al Gardner. Home of Al Gardner. 1110 WBT, the Charlotte Panthers station, or the Carolina Panthers station, the Charlotte Hornet station. It's the big sports station. It's the big news station. It's owned by Jefferson Pilot. This is really the big break.
Broadcast from New York to Key West after what, 9 p.m.?
After 9 p.m., 50,000 watt flamethrower, and you could hear me. And I got a call from Key West one time. A guy's going like, dude, coming in loud and clear, bro. So I'm at WBT, and one day when I come in for work, I told this story when we were in Tampa, so I'll just tell it again quickly. There's a note on my desk, and it says, I heard your parody song, We Can Do Much Better, sign Hit Music Inc. And I'm like, who the hell is this? What is this? Didn't think anything of it. A couple of days go by, or a week or so goes by. Come in a week or so later, and there's another note on my desk. Ignore Hit Music Inc. at your own peril. And so, now why was Grossman going to, tell people why Alan Grossman was going to, you didn't go. He went by himself, right? Or did you go?
No, I was at WBT. We would go, at that point, we had done so much work for WBT. Everyone knew us there. And we just walked into the building, and what was the woman at the front desk? Do you remember her name?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I loved her to death. She would just buzz the door in, and Al and I would roam the television and radio stations. We'd walk in the Bob and Sherry show and sit down and start yakking, whatever. And, of course, my introduction was John Hancock. I called into his show and said, "Hey, man, let me write you a theme song," and that's how I got into WBT. But yeah, we had free reign of that building. So the second note: ignore hit music at your own peril. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'll bite. All right, so I won't ignore hit music. So I called. There was a phone number. Do you still have your landline? No, you don't. No.
Oh. If you did, I still have it in my phone. That number, I can tell you.
Yeah.
738-0572.
638-0572.
638-0572. on the back of my hand. So I talked to this guy. I didn't talk to you. I talked to his former partner, Alan Grossman, and we had a little small talk, and we talked Mac and the Mac world. They were Mac users. I was a Mac nerd, and so he said, "Why don't you come on up here and meet us and we'll talk about working together." So I said, "Okay." So we made a play date. And at a play date, and I went. And the day that I went, our mutual friend Jennifer was there doing something for you guys. So I met Jennifer that day.
Right.
And then Grossman says, because you hadn't heard the song, Grossman says, "Play him your Right Wingers Get Stoned song." So I played we played it in your magnificent studio where you are right there on those big, beautiful Klipsch corner horn speakers or whatever those things are. And it sounded so terrible. And I'm turning red going like, oh, God, this is embarrassing. This is awful. And about that time, it was either you or Grossman said, you know what, why don't we just record it? I'm like,
yeah, it was probably me.
And I'm like, Racky, record, and I'd never been in to do music. I'd never been I'd done some vocals in a record studio, but nothing like this.
Right.
So he says, "Yeah, why don't we just record it?" I'm like, "You can do that? Is this permissible? Is this allowed? You can do this?" And so like, yeah, not a problem. So Grossman goes and gets we find the original. This is before you would find it on iTunes. He had it on a CD. And
yeah, Alan had a plethora of songs in his head,
So you scanned it into Pro Tools, or you imported the track, and then you put it into the thing, and then okay, let's do it. And you sink Grossman into his little sliding door glass cave with that Martin guitar of his, and he just banged that acoustic.
12.
Yeah, he just banged that acoustic part out in one or two takes, and then whatever else was needed. There's a bass on there, of course, your drums, and you're the drummer. And
I played drums, I played bass, Alan did guitar, and I think I played piano.
This is the funniest part, though. Who are we going to get to play that lead guitar? Because Grossman wasn't a lead guitar player. Who are we going to get to play the lead guitar part? And you talked about it, and you were like, I think we could call this is where Johnny Kotek gets mentioned for the first time. But he's not Johnny Kotek at that time. I don't know him as, what was it, David?
Yes, David. Yes. Oh, what was
David's last name? Oh, man, I don't even remember.
Kotex.
David Kotek. Mike Church Show fans, Wakanda. His last name is Wakanda. And then you called him, and he goes, man, of course, he smokes 4 packs of Cools a day. No, man, I don't think I can make it down there all the way there tonight, Jim. But, if you can hold it off on me for I can get over there on next Monday or something. I'll knock that part out, that guitar part out. That ain't nothing, man. Can you wait a couple of days there? And you were like, yeah, man, that's fantastic. Yeah. And you're trying to get him on the phone. Yeah. Talk to you. No, it's great. No, we're good. No, how are you? No, yeah, we're fine. Yeah, next Tuesday's great. Yeah. No. Don't bring us any treats. No, we don't. No. We're good. And then finally get off the phone with him. And then Grossman just says something like, screw it, I'll do it. He pulls he basically pulls a Bill O'Reilly.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
So Grossman goes like, I'll play it.
Yep.
And that guitar part is so bad, and that lead is so bad, it's so sloppy that he just went out there with whatever guitar that was you guys had. I don't even remember. Was it a Fender?
It was after the guitar accident, and Alan, being Jewish, got a brand new Fender surf blue guitar.
He knocked that part out.
He was the passenger.
And then you were like, okay, let's go sing. Go cut your part. And I'm like, what? Really? You put me in front of a Neumann mic with real headphones and a real microphone for the first time. And
this same mic, actually, right here.
That microphone right there. And I cut my part. Yep. And this was the first time I learned about how to do the 3-part harmony, because you guys tried to get me to do all 3 parts. And I
Right,
could do
right.
the first part, but Grossman's like, no, it's we get stoned, it's we get stoned, and I couldn't do it.
Right.
It was horrible.
There it is.
So you did part B, he did part C, and we put the track together. And but by the time I left there that day, and I had all of my lines, from my script, and we did all of the overdubs. I played that song on the radio on WBT that night, and people were absolutely blown away because, again, the authenticity of the track is so close to the original that if you're not listening carefully, if you hear it playing in the other room, you might actually think that you're listening to Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show.
Yeah, and that's funny too because that was our first thing we did together, and that was we did that in a day. And although I take everything serious, it wasn't as serious once we became a team.
Right. So this is a kind of the band. This is the origins of Marvel Comics. This is kind of the band gets together story. So the song is still, it's 2025. This song was cut in December of 1999. So it's coming up on its 25th anniversary. We already have an anniversary party.
Wow.
It's the 25th anniversary of the founding of the Mike Church Show band. It's still one of my favorites. Every time I play it, people laugh and they put comments in the chat room. And the comment is always, oh, dude, that song is still such a classic. It has aged. I mean, the lyrics have even aged very well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, without further ado, then, maybe we should listen to the track. So, this is the December 1999 version of Right Wingers Get Stoned by the Mike Church Show Band.
Oh, no, son. I can't believe I'm doing this in Congress. Hey, man. Pass it over here. I want some, too. Hey, George. Hey, Pat Buchanan. Tell them who we are. Well, we're big right-wingers and we're gun-right singers and we think young ladies should wait. That sounds like us. We talk about values and we talk about truth at $10,000 a plate. We sign all kind of bills to veto all kind of thrills, but the thrill we'll never know. Don't do what we do. Is the thrill that is written from the votes we'd be getting if they thought that right-wingers got stoned. We get stoned. Gonna see my mistress on the cover. What does she look like? Gonna bed 5 young unwed mothers. I want one of them. Gonna see my wasted face. Then they'll see a right-winger get stoned. That is a very, very liberal idea. Not a right-wing whacked up like you. Come here, man. We got an old chick named Liddy and some guys who are biddies and a dude who's never worn jeans. We got a poor old ex-president, George, stomping in Abilene. Now let's all decide to blow our minds with the stuff we never have blown. It's the blow that'll get you a mug picture, and they'll think this right winger gets stoned. Hey, I love we gonna see my mistress on the cover. Gonna bed 5 young unwed mothers. Gonna see my wasted face. Then they'll see a right winger get stoned. Look, he's got your eye, man. I know how bloodshot. Say this right wing starts. We got a lot of little wrinkled, blue-haired ladies who believe anything we say. We got some genuine Wall Street gurus. They're teaching us the same old same. We got all the guns that money can buy, so we never have to shoot alone. Bang! And while the rich are getting richer, Rolling Stone won't take our picture till they see a right-winger get stoned. That's not true, man. We get stoned. Gonna see my mistress on the cover. Gonna bed 5 young unwed mothers. Gonna see my wasted face. Then they'll see a right-winger get stoned. See a right-winger get stoned. Gonna see my mistress on the cover. What do you think we do? Gonna bed 5 young unwed mothers. Good, you can see my wasted face. Then you'll know this right-winger gets stoned. When you see me on Jay Leno, baby, the police don't have the best dope, son. Republicans do. I'm gonna be on Jay Leno, man. Gonna be joking and laughing and smiling with red eyes. It's gonna be beautiful.
You know what that bong is? I remember doing that bong effect. You know what that bong
what
is?
was it?
Oh, no, son.
Okay,
I can't believe I'm doing
the bong. Grossman got a big tumbler of water, took it out there in the studio, filled it about halfway up, and got a straw. That's him. That's him blowing bubbles.
Wow, I do remember that.
And because he didn't fill it all the way up, so you got a kind of like a little reverb effect there. There's something else I noticed, and I think that we talked about it that day when we cut the track. If you listen to the Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show original, there's a dobro on that track.
Right.
We didn't have a dobro either. So we kind of faked it. I think you probably doubled up Alan's, because I could hear him playing lead guitar in the background.
Right.
So you tried to fake the dobro.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're really refreshing my memory on this. I've done probably 10,000 songs since then. But I'm glad you remember the details of these sessions like that, because, I remember this now. The only thing is, though, listening to this, the drums sound the recording's way better than the original.
Oh, absolutely. There's no comparison. No comparison.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes the jump then. You're going to make the jump to Lightspeed. It makes the jump from tinkering around.
We did that in one day, right?
One day.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. When you were telling that story about how you came here and you were like, oh, no, I got to record and everything. We were a little starstruck with you because I was a huge fan of your show. You were like my refuge from my first marriage. I would go out in the garage and turn you on and listen to you at night. To get away
from Dragon Lady 1.0.
Yes, Dragon Lady. That was it. Oh, I forgot about that name. Oh my gosh!
But this was, I think that this was an entrevue, if you will, into that. I think we can actually do this. And we recorded a couple of other songs that will be that are coming up in the WBT phase, and one of them that I had nothing to do with, but I think we should actually play it and get everyone a listen of it. Is these guys? This guy right here and Alan Grossman did a song for the Carolina Panthers every week. So whoever they were playing. The program and the director, whoever, Errol Collins actually was the dude's name, would pick a song and write some lyrics, that would fit the song, parody kind of lyrics, and then you and Alan would play, not the whole song, you'd probably play, a verse of it, and they would play it on the Carolina Panthers radio station on the Countdown to Kickoff show.
Yeah, we would do like a minute 15 seconds of it.
And that was
go ahead, finish.
No, it was the Taking Care of Business song.
Ah, yes.
And they could not figure out there's something missing. We're going to make you wait for that actual episode.
I don't know if you know this or not, because this was before your time, but I did the first ever Panther growl and everything here. Their first fight song and everything.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I got a call from this before Alan came up here. I got a call from Mike Collins. Remember Mike Collins,
yep.
WBT, the NPR? And he's like, I've got a meeting. Can you get me a song? I need a growl and everything. And I did it, and they used that for probably 10 years, but came out of here.
Some incredible days. Another song that we recorded, and I think I have it somewhere. But I actually, this is before you guys and I were going back and forth, and I did it with the half a dozen guys at WBT. It's called Christmas Beer. You and I recovered it about 2 years later. It's on one of those albums somewhere up in there. There's a couple of songs. People don't know that I've written songs. I've written damn good songs. The Soho song is fantastic. The Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day song. We cut and I would just sing them to him. I just hum it to him, and this guy here, and he'd go like, oh, okay, and then he knocked me something down. And I go, nah. That's not what I'm looking for. But in any event, this is the See a Right Winger Get Stoned is how you get the start of the Mike Church Show Band. And we probably did 2 or 3 more records in 1999. And then, I survived all the way to March until the old lady called the WPT. and told me to stop cursing. And
That was the best show ever.
And I asked her what size Depends she wore, and and it's on my first album. It's called Piss Poor DJ. And that song is that call is on there. And 3 days later, I was gone. That was it. I was.
So, do you not remember reading the obituaries the next day?
Maybe I probably did. It sounds like something I would do.
Oh, that was the best. I mean, I remember because I was out in the garage cleaning out my car, hiding from Dragon Lady 1.0, and that was like the best radio ever. John Smith, born 1920. You did this for like 2 hours, and then they fired you the next day.
And thus ended my tenure at WBT under the story, the very infamous tutelage of one Randall Bloomquist, who became known as Vandal Doomcyst. If you accepted a gig with this guy, he was going to fire you.
Yeah,
he fired everyone. Brad Spires,
and then he got fired.
Brad Krantz and Alan Spires are the only two guys that he hired that survived any amount of time at that environment. So, folks, that is the story of Right Wingers Get Stoned. And I hope you enjoyed it. It was a blast telling it to you. I think next time, because there's a gap that happens in here, because Jennifer and I go to San Francisco, 30 by the Gay, to go work for Sirius Satellite Radio, and to basically run the right-wing radio station that they are going to, this guy's going to provide the content for 5 talk radio channels, and he's building this menagerie in San Francisco. He hired me to be the conservative dude, and so we go out to California in September of 2000, and by December of 2000, the satellite radios don't work, and they got to fire us. And I'm stuck in California. I start picking up odd jobs and filling in for people and such. Then I moved back to Louisiana, and the rest, as they say, 9/11 happens, and then I pick a gig up at a little radio station in Lake Charles, Louisiana, KALK FM, which we renamed to Real Radio 97.9 FM in October of 2001. And within a year, that's when the parody song fun really kicks into high gear and begins. And it goes into overdrive with the election of 2004.
We got some great stuff.
Oh, the Monster Mash song might be one of the best. I've heard a lot of covers of Bobby Pickett. Our Monster Mash is the greatest cover of Bobby Pickett ever done. Ever. Yeah. Our grandma got run over by a reindeer in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Elmo wrote me an email, said, that's the best cover of my song I've ever heard.
Wow.
So, folks,
you're
in for some treats. There's some amazing songs that we're going to cover. And they're all very funny, too. And I still play many of them on the Mike Church Show. And we'll bring them all to you on the next episode of album Autopsy. So it's been a blast hanging out, brother. Man.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. This is great. I'm excited about this whole series we're doing here. They're great songs, and going back and getting into them and thinking about that time is just really exciting for me.
And we didn't really do a lot of picking this of the Right Wingers Get Stoned song apart, and because he doesn't, there's not a lot to pick there. There are tracks that are coming up that could take an entire episode to explain to people, well, we had to do this to try and get this right and match this sound.
Yeah,
and that's always the challenge. The one thing that the Mike Church Show Band has always done, number one, make your lyrics as close to the original as is possible.
Same cadence.
A lot of people that write parody songs and they think they're hysterical and funny. I'm like, dude, your lyrics suck. You're not even in the ballpark. You know, if the artist ended that line with a rhyming A, you end the line with a rhyming A.
Yes.
And if you can't, you suck. Stop making crappy parodies. And I actually told a guy, like, he asked me, and I'm like, I I think it's terrible. I wouldn't play it. I told him I have no interest in playing it. Well, why? It's funny. I'm like, you took this guy's body of work and you just pissed on it. You didn't even attempt to take his lyrics or her lyrics or whatever, and then turn them into something funny, but be faithful to the original, right? Which is I think a hallmark of everything that you and I and Alan and all the great musicians and talents that came together to work on this. So we're very excited about this, folks. It's going to be a great fun series, and I hope that you'll tune in for every episode of Album Autopsy. We're going to release them to the world. They won't be behind the paywall. Anyone that wants to can listen to every episode at crusadechannel.com. We will get a podcast up as well, and my only concern about doing the podcast is it's going to get nuked on the services that have copyright protection, digital rights, media crap. So, but it will always be available at crusadechannel.com. All right, brother, let's say our farewells, and I'll see you next time here on Album Autopsy.
Later.
We're big right-wingers and we're gun-right singers, and we think young ladies should wait. That sound like us. We talk about values and we talk about truth at $10,000 a plate. We sign all kind of bills to veto all kind of thrills, but the thrill we'll never know. Don't do what we do. Is the thrill that is written from the votes we'd be getting if they thought that right-wingers got stoned. Gonna see my mistress on the cover. What does she look like?